Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Dino Brothers podcast. I am your host, Joe Boogie, as always, joined by Deuce Deuce. What is going on, Deuce? It's been a little while since we recorded. Glad to be back post All Star break.
Yeah, man, there's been a lot going on in the NBA. All-Star weekend already feels like it was a while ago, but I'm glad that basketball's back. There was that crazy trade deadline. But let's take a look back at All-Star weekend. Which events did you watch?
I actually sadly watched pretty much all of them. So I started the weekend off watching the Celebrity All Star game, which was quite painful, but there was a few moments that were pretty hilarious. The Rising Stars Challenge I watched, and then I watched the Skills Night as well as the actual game. So I pretty much caught almost every minute, and it was overall a really good production. I think like much better than other years. Everything delivered in my book, so I think it was a hit. How about you?
I didn't get to watch the celebrity game, and I don't really feel like I missed out on anything with that. But I did get to see all of Saturday night, the Rising Stars contest, three-point contest, slam dunk, All-Star game, and I think this is actually, yeah, one of the better All-Star weekends in recent memory. There was no ridiculous dunk contest format; it's just straight up dunking. And I really like the new format of the Rising Stars Challenge. What did you think of that?
Yeah, so I'll just give you a quick recap on the Celebrity All Star game. This is all you need to know. There's one big play. Moni Davis just driving to the bucket, pulls a spin move right off Kevin Hart, rolls to the bucket and just lays it in beautifully. And just running down the court, big smile on her face, just talking trash. And it's like, she's a true pro, man. She's a star of the future. Other than that, the big moment was when Dr. Avery from Grey's Anatomy went for a drive, came down on like his ankle or knee, twisted it, and it was a pretty scary moment. It's pretty sad to see injury going on or an
Yeah,
ankle sprain in such a competitive match. But besides that, that was pretty much it. Some other pretty hilarious appearances by Michael Rappaport and the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies. But in terms of the Rising Stars, I think it was a good call. Like the NBA knows how to put on a show. Like this is a cool idea. You get to highlight all your international stars. It's like a good marketing opportunity for the NBA, and it just turned out to be a really exciting game. So kudos to them for coming up with this.
yeah, I really like the format. I think the USA versus the world really gives people something to play for. The U.S. team is going to want to come out and represent their country with pride, and that's just going to elevate the whole level of the game. And the world team was really strong this year. Like they had some really good players. Wiggins put up a good performance, 22 points, got the MVP. Rudy Gobert was just like stuffing people. Uh, I had a real, it was really fun to watch. Way better than the standard Rising Stars format.
No, absolutely. I mean, right out of the gate, the world team came out firing, making baskets, and they just kept up that momentum, and it was a really entertaining game. I mean, that one alley oop to Wiggins was on replay all week. Such a beautiful play,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just a great game.
Yeah, I hope they keep this format going forward because I'm really pleased with how the international players are developing. And Wiggins is just doing amazing, and he's still a rookie, so he can be back in it next year and just kill these guys.
Yeah, and that's the thing I gotta say. I think the overall winner of All Star Weekend was definitely Andrew Wiggins. I mean, he killed it in the Rising Stars Challenge, got the MVP. He made appearance in the slam dunk competition, helping out Levine, and he just really repped Canada. Was always thanking Canada, thanking Toronto. So big ups to Wiggins.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins is definitely doing really well for himself as a rookie in the league. But moving on, let's go to Saturday. I don't really care about the shooting stars or that, but how about that three-point contest?
That was just insane. I mean, my heart was racing the whole time. It was just, yeah, it was just insane. It was as much excitement as you could ask for out of the 3 point contest.
Yeah, the field was just stacked with like amazing shooters. I was a little disappointed with Kyle Korver. I thought like there was a lot of hype around him, but the three-point contest is kind of a different beast from knocking down shots in the game. Um, but Steph Curry, like wow, when he gets hot, that's scary. Like he just can't miss.
Oh yeah, he's just a machine. So that was definitely the highlight,
Yeah, good
as well.
performance by Klay Thompson and
And Kyrie as well,
oh, Kyrie
saying,
was
"Hey,
in the
don't
final.
forget about me."
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that Steph Curry got it. The Splash Brothers both appearing in the finals. Steph Curry had a funny Under Armour promotion beforehand where he was shooting against like his father, a 10-year-old girl from high school. Um, and he basically said before like I'm gonna keep entering this contest until I win it.
Yeah, a lot of good commercials actually.
Yeah. And then the highlight of Saturday night had to be the slam dunk contest. What did you think about that?
I thought it again, just top notch. I mean, it'd been boring in the past years in terms of no innovation. Last year they tried to change the format, and that was really a flop. It didn't work out. This year, it was just on point. From the intros, which were just hilarious, to the actual dunkers who did some pretty good dunks and delivered. Most importantly, it was yeah, just a great show.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried when Plumlee and Giannis kind of like had so-so first dunks. Giannis couldn't even finish his first dunk. But I do like that they had the like 3 attempts rule. Because like after 3 attempts, the dunk is really like it starts to lose its thunder. I like the intro by Oladipo coming out singing New York, New York, and he had a good dunk to start. But man, hats off to Levine. He really worked the crowd with that Space Jam intro. Had the Quad City DJs out there, had the Tune Squad Jordan jersey, and just nailed that insane between the legs dunk on the first try.
Exactly. No, his the production value on his was pretty sick. Like that whole Space Jam singers coming in to walk him in, that was insane. And like you said, all those little touches really added to it. And he did killer dunks, actually converted them all, hit some on his first attempts. He was just on fire that night, and he put on a show and had the whole crowd on their feet.
Yeah, I was at a bar watching the dunk contest, and there wasn't even any sound, but you could tell people were watching. And like when he came out with that dunk, like I stood up out of my chair. There was a whole bunch of other people freaking out. Like that was a monstrous dunk. And yeah, his other dunks were good. Like he just jumped so high, and he can just throw it down with so much power so easily. It was really, really nice to see just a solid dunk contest, no frills, just throwing the ball in.
That definitely sounds like the Canadian bar experience, you know what I mean? No sound for the basketball game.
I know.
That's all.
I was actually arguing with the manager because like originally it was all hockey, and I'm like, yo, come on, the Leafs suck. Nobody wants to watch that. So let's get some. I got them to change some TVs to basketball, but they wouldn't give me the sound,
Oh
even though
man.
everyone was watching the All Star festivities.
So what did you think about the actual game? Lowry getting some big minutes.
I liked the game. Like it was actually pretty good. You could tell there were a couple different people gunning for MVP. Lowry's shot was off to start, but whatever. Like his skill set isn't really suited to the All Star game. Shout out to that one putback dunk he had though. That was pretty entertaining to see.
Exactly. And I had that one nice alley oop to LeBron.
Yeah, that was a nice little sequence. But like watching the game, I could tell LeBron was like trying pretty hard to just run up the court, throw it in, and keep his team in it. Um, but Westbrook was just too fierce. Can't really contain him. And his skill set is excellently suited to an all-star game because he's just so fast. He can just run up and dunk if he wants to, catch alley-oops, pull up for threes, you know. So,
Westbrook is just so sick. I mean, his skill set and his mindset is just know I'm the best, be the best, and just compete and, put on a show. And that's what he did. He was running all over the court, dunking, passing it, slamming it, just representing. So, yeah, good show by him.
yeah, and it was a close game, right? Like it was tied going into the fourth quarter. So when the fourth quarter started, it's like, wow, they're actually playing defense, which was kind of nice. Get a little bit of real basketball in there. Um, the Atlanta Hawks starting four were in there, and they were actually like just playing regular basketball, which looked incredibly boring in the context of the All Star game. But I guess that's what they do.
For sure. When it goes down the stretch, you know what I mean. If it's a close game, they got their pride in their line. They're actually definitely trying a little bit, which was good to see. So overall, I'm giving this All Star Weekend an A rating. What would be your final grade?
Yeah, I think it's got to be an A. Like, there's not too much more you could ask for, especially compared to the past couple of years All-Star weekends. Like the slam dunk contest last year was a travesty. That was just terrible. I didn't even watch the All-Star game last year, and then yeah,
Well, it's
same.
definitely good. I mean, in terms of like the celebrities with like Twitter and social media, like it was just a lot of fun in terms of the whole production. So yeah, I'm definitely giving it an A grade, and they know how to put on a good show. So kudos to the NBA 2016 in Toronto. What do you think about that? How pumped are you?
That's gonna be fun. We got to get tickets to that. And like it was cold in New York, so there's no excuses for it being too cold in Toronto now. And I think Toronto's gonna turn up, and we're gonna show the world just how much fun we're having here with basketball.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a spectacle. We're going to be there definitely. We're going to get some tickets to some events.
I
It's going to
actually
be
hope it's
sick.
warm enough that maybe they could get something in Jurassic Park going.
No, absolutely. That would be sick.
Uh, but yeah, and it was a long All-Star break this year, but finally the Raptors are back in action. Uh,
I don't know, but January or February in Jurassic Park would logistically doesn't seem likely.
no, I know, but you know, you might get lucky. It might just be around zero. I think that's doable. Zero, you put out some space heaters, you got a huge crowd going. That'd be fun.
Just get a bunch of like space heaters, get like a tropical theme, and just have like raptors like walking around. Uh,
Something like that.
uh, so, what do you got to say about the Raptors now? So, we're coming out of the All Star break. Kyle Lowry had a great experience. The rest of the team was getting some rest, healing up from their injuries, refocusing. What would you say your thoughts are on the first half of the season, and what are your expectations going forward and in the next coming stretch?
You know, now that we're not so close to it, like we're not in the thick of the moment, I gotta say, like the first half of the season has been really good for us. Like you look back, we're in second in the East. Really didn't expect to be here at the start of the year. We were playing really good basketball to start. We had that slump in sort of January, but it seems like they're fighting through that and they're playing better now. Still some lapses, but I'm pretty pleased with how the team is looking. We pretty much got the Atlantic Division locked up, and now it's time for them to like focus in and decide what their game plan is for the playoffs. Um, because even though we're gonna have home court, uh, or we should, um, like those sort of bottom 4 or 5 teams in the East, like I'm not fully confident in our ability to beat them right now. Like we're favored, but nothing is a guarantee.
No, definitely. I mean, I'd agree in terms of looking back. I mean, the season already feels like it's been pretty long in terms of there's been a lot of ebbs and flows, a lot of different chapters and segments, coming out to the hot start, the DeMar injury, fighting through that, the return of DeMar, now kind of going on a bit of a dip and slump in there, but then picking it back up right before the All Star game. I mean, it seems like so much has happened, really. The team has had a lot of different looks, grown, battled through everything, and still come out at the halfway point with, you know, our best franchise record yet up to this point and on pace for 50 wins. So when you look through it, when you take a step back and look at it through that lens, you got to say, yes, definitely a success. But that being said, you know, we've shown some pretty glaring flaws at times and just kind of being exposed, kind of games where, we have some losses that weren't close losses, they're actual blowouts. And, we've got to pick up the defensive effort, improve on our weaknesses, and really, really grow as a team and address these issues if we want to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of problems on defense lately. It's just been coming and going. Turnovers have actually become a bit of a problem for us. Just can't take care of the ball and giving them free points. Um, but now that we're past the All-Star break, we can start to look forward to playoff seeding. Um, like if the playoffs started today, we would face Miami, and I think that's sort of a tough first round matchup because They've got experienced players. They just picked up some assets at the trade deadline, and the Raptors are really going to have to use this time to sort out their rotations, know who their go-to guys are, like what do they want to run with, uh, and yeah, start prepping for the playoffs. I can't wait for the playoffs to start because as much fun as the regular season has been, if we don't get out of the first round, the entire season is going to be sort of considered a failure.
No, exactly. I mean, we got to make it. That's kind of always been the goal from Masai from the start of the year, which is let's win a round, get to the second round of the playoffs. But really, we need to grow as a team, get that momentum going into the playoffs, start hot and make sure that we do get that first round win. And kind of like you said, one of the things that we have learned and seen a lot of is kind of the different looks and rotations. I really like the James Johnson in the starting lineup that look, but we've also got the three guard set with Lowry and Vasquez both on the court at the same time. We've got P-Pad has really kind of carved out a niche in a lot of our different lineups. Plus, getting JV, the big man, going. And I think JV he's been solid this year. He's been up and down. He's had some bad performances. He's had to fight through a lot. But that being said, he's shown moments of brilliance as well and just solid play. So he can be there in the second half. You just really got to watch um, kind of for the help defense. Recently, he's been getting exposed a lot on that in terms of the help comes in, just swats the ball away when he's trying to, dribble it. He's got to be more decisive and, put the ball on the floor or shoot it and just be confident in what he's doing and kind of just not stall and try and do too much.
Yeah, exactly. He's a young guy. He's still going through some ups and downs, but I'd say he is definitely better than last year. He's improved across the board pretty much. Um, a lot better at rebounding, getting more confident with his post moves. So good growth for him this year. Just looking for more consistency and intelligent decision making, which of course just comes with experience. Just taking a look at our roster, I am a little bit concerned about Kyle's shot. Hasn't really been falling lately. I don't know what if he's injured or if he's just got to go in the gym and make some more, but his three has been off. And I'm still hoping that Terrence Ross can, find his game. Because there were times at the beginning of the year and last year where he was playing well, and now he just can't seem to get anything going.
Yeah, so in terms of Kyle, first I'll say over the first half of the season, I don't think we can ask for anything more from Kyle. He's put up the numbers, put his heart on the line, and really just led the team. That being said, like you said, at times he's tried to do a little bit too much, or, the brunt of the burden is on him to get the offense going, get everyone included, and really also be an offensive scoring threat. So, he's going to have his up and down nights, but I think he's, I can't ask for anything more from Kyle. And I think come playoff times, he's going to be there. He's going to lead us to the promised land and just do top notch job in terms of getting us to our goal of getting past the first round. So Kyle, I'm fine with. T. Ross, like you said, really how we do in the playoffs is going to be determined by T. Ross and JV. Like they're going to have a big impact on that. Like I was saying, we know what Kyle's going to do. We know what DeMar is going to be doing. DeMar's shot's been up and down recently. Also, it's been off, and we haven't been shooting that great. But we know what we're gonna get out of them. We need JV and Russ to step up if we're gonna go deep.
Exactly. But don't forget Lou Williams, because he's injured right now, but he can just come in, and if he's hot, he can just win you a game all on his own. Like he went off against Atlanta, and we just buried them. So it's always good to have that sort of card coming off the bench.
No, definitely. I mean, can't forget about Lou. I've basically had like that 6 Man song on the new Drake album on repeat since it's come out. It just gets me so pumped up.
Yeah, I see you talking to everyone about it. Like, have you heard the new Six Man song? Have you heard the new Six Man song?
uh, I did actually. I went out on Friday and Saturday this weekend, just really spreading the word on it. I mean, you can't not like that song. The lyrics are on point.
Yeah, we need Lou Williams to re-sign with us. Drake's doing his job.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's a good ambassador, and like seeing that Lou Williams that Lou Williams Instagram video, of him like dancing to that Six Man song is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And just like we put out on Instagram that the insert to Drake's new album, which shouts out like most of the Raptors, um, kind of like in the booklet accompanying his album. Although I did notice that Landry was absent from that list of names.
Let's just not talk about Landry Fields.
Uh, so what
uh,
do you got to say about the Raps? Anything else you want to say going into the second half? What we got to do?
just want to take a look at the schedule. Like right now, the Raps are in the middle of a tough sort of back-to-back road trip. We got New Orleans tomorrow and the Mavs the day after that. Those are both pretty good teams. We got a rematch with the Warriors on this Friday, February 27. They destroyed us when we were in Golden State, so I hope the Raptors are ready for them. And then just taking a look at how many like above 500 teams we have to worry about. There are quite a few coming up, so it's a tough stretch of schedule for us these last 28, 29 games. Uh, but like we said, it's going to be important for the Raptors to prove themselves. Just quickly, we got one more game against the Cavs. We got another game in Oklahoma City and another game against the Spurs. And then Blazers are coming to town. We still got two more games with the Bulls and another game with the Rockets and one more game with the Heat. And then just one sort of side note, we have three games against Charlotte, and we haven't beaten Charlotte since before last year, so I'm kind of worried about them.
No, definitely. I mean, our schedule down the stretch is tough. It's not going to be easy. So we have a lot of road games. That being said, today is Sunday. They just played the first two games of 4 and 5 nights. They had a win over Atlanta by about 20 points, and then a loss to the Rockets, which was a loss by 20 points. So they come off to a rocky start in terms of big win, and then kind of a lackluster, ugly performance on the back-to-back. So let's see how they do on this road trip. And like you said, it's not going to be easy. We got Golden State coming to town soon, which is going to be a big game. But, if we're going to get it done in the playoffs, we need to be tested, play good competition, and, you know, succeed against these other strong teams.
Yeah, like no matter who we're playing in the playoffs, it's going to be a pretty good team. So we have to win these games. Like these are tough games, so we just got to take care of business.
Exactly. Like, I'm actually excited for this stretch. Yes, are we going to win all the games? No, we're going to lose some games, but it's going to be a good test. Push the team to the limit, and it should just really be high quality TV.
So taking a look at the NBA trade deadline, Raptors stood pat, but there was a lot of activity around the league. It just seems like I looked away from my computer and then all of a sudden a dozen trades happened. Were there any you wanted to start with?
So I guess there's a few big ones we can talk about just in terms of the teams and kind of the impact on them. Number one, so OKC, they signed Cantor, DJ Augustine, Singler. They traded away Reggie Jackson and Kendrick Perkins. So that was a lot of players moved there.
I'm
Picking up,
pretty I'm pretty excited about that. I think getting rid of Perkins is good because he just looks so old and slow. Uh, and Cantor's sort of a young sort of post presence that they can have. And yeah, apparently Reggie Jackson was just not good for chemistry in that locker room, so should help them going forward.
no, exactly. I mean, so really the core of their team stays the same in terms of the Ibaka, Durant, Westbrook. Now they got quite a handful of new pieces that they're inserting, but these guys have all been in the league for a little while, and they really all can be impact players. And this is what OKC needs if they want to make it run the playoffs. Is have some talent, like some quality NBA talent to work with, have that depth, and really make that run that they want to make in the playoffs.
Yep. Uh, why don't you go on with the next big trade?
All right. So after that, we've got Miami. So they signed both of the Dragic brothers, which is a pretty huge trade for them. I mean, their biggest glaring error was their weakness, or their biggest glaring weakness was their their point guard position, which was pretty horrendous. Definitely one of the worst situations in the league. So by getting a top-notch talent like Goran Dragic, this is huge for them. What do you think?
Uh, well, I think it's great that they got Dragic. Like that makes their starting lineup really intimidating. But unfortunately, Chris Bosh has come down with blood clots in his lungs, and looks like he's going to be out for the entire season. So that really puts a damper on their playoff hopes, losing their best player.
Yeah, I know, and even though we left on maybe not the greatest terms, Bosch is always our boy. Gotta give him a shout out. Um, you know, definitely one of our favorite Raptors. So I mean, this is really just disappointing to hear. Like I never want to see good players, even if say we matched up with Miami. You know, I'd rather Bosch be out there and have the stars, have an intense competition, play them at their best. I mean, him being out, it is what it is. We anyone who matches up with him will obviously take the win, but it's never good to see some of our stars going down. We are playing Miami in the next few weeks, so again, having Bosch missing is going to be a bit of a downer, but we'll see what they can do. I mean, they're still going to be a scrappy team, and they still have a chance to make a little bit of a run down the stretch.
Yeah, and they've won a championship before, so they know what they can do. Um, how about the Cavs? They had some trades earlier in the year where they picked up J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert's playing again, and Timothy Mozgov. But the rumor is that they're also going to pick up Kendrick Perkins, who was waived in his trade.
So I mean, yeah, the Cavs they're really just going to sign everyone that they can. They still sounds like they're courting Ray Allen as well. So if they sign both of these guys, they are going to have that extra talent and depth that they were looking for, and really their roster is just looking so different, even since just the start of the season. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and they've really gotten their game together. They're playing good basketball. They just annihilated the Knicks today, although that's not really saying much. But yeah, I definitely would not want to match up against them in the first round.
No, exactly. So another one of the buyouts is Amari Stoudemire is going to be joining the Dallas Mavericks. So that's going to give them the depth that they needed. Like they were hurting in terms of their second unit. They needed some bodies and some talent that can actually make an impact. So I mean, good for them. Dallas has really been struggling lately. They're one who look just like a totally different team. Like their team is just and their pace of play is just slowed down so much. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can kind of get over that hump and work through their struggles.
Yeah, I wonder how they're feeling about that Rondo trade they made earlier in the year. But Amari should help them. Like he's been injured badly over the past few years, but coming on that second unit, he can definitely give them some good production.
Exactly. Now he's still got some juice in the tank. He can make an impact on a game. So definitely a good pickup for them.
Yep. And And then Detroit, they were the benefactors of getting Reggie Jackson from OKC. What do you think about him joining the Pistons?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna help out the Pistons. I mean, it doesn't look like they're gonna make the playoffs. They were kicking up a little bit of dust, making some noise. So it's a great addition for them. We'll see how he fits in, and if he can be that starter and impact player that he wants to be. What do you think?
Well, without Brandon Jennings, like that kind of hurts them. So it's good that they got Reggie Jackson to sort of fill that hole for now. But I wonder what's going to happen when Jennings is back from injury next year, and what their sort of game plan going forward is. But the race for the last two spots in the East is actually pretty close. Like there's Miami, and then Brooklyn right now are in 7 and 8, and then there's one, two, three. There's four teams within 2 games of them, right? Um, so if one of them slips, like even a little bit, like Detroit could move up there, Charlotte could move in there. I don't think Indiana and Boston are really looking to make the playoffs, but it's a little bit closer for the last two spots in the playoffs than it usually is in the East.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's going to be exciting down the stretch. So that being said, maybe we could just finish off about talking about the Raps' next two upcoming games. So we've got New Orleans on Monday night, Dallas on Tuesday night, and then Golden State on Friday. What are your expectations for those three games?
Um, I think if we can split those one of those road games, that'll be good. I think I'm not quite sure if Anthony Davis is playing tomorrow, so that'd be a nice boost for us. But we lost to them last time anyway when he wasn't playing. Um, and it'd be nice if we could take advantage of Dallas right now. But any of those Texas teams are tough. Um, Golden State, I got a good feeling about Golden State. I think we're gonna win that one at home. The Raptors should have that game circled on their calendar and be ready to play them because they kicked our ass last time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, New Orleans has Ryan Anderson and Anthony Davis both out, so I'm thinking that should be a winnable game. Dallas, like we were just kind of alluding to earlier, they're kind of working through some issues, kind of in a weekend state. I'm hoping we can take that as well. Golden State is going to be tough, but you know, they're on our home court. They're traveling to the east, so hopefully we can take advantage of that,
I hope they're jet lagged.
capitalize exactly, and just get the win there. So this is going to be an interesting little stretch, but I'm excited to see how the Raptors respond from the huge loss to the Rockets last night.
I think
So
you just got to put that behind you. Like they were missing a lot of shots they could have made, just turned over the ball way too many times. Just a bad game overall for us.
yeah, no, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it was a battle last night seeing Lowry go up against Beverly. So even from like a match like that, like you said, put it in the past. But hopefully we can learn from those and from those games and really take this second half by storm and set a new record for wins.
Exactly. I would like to get to 50 wins this year. That would be a nice little milestone for our franchise to achieve.
Exactly. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We are going to be discussing some of the upcoming games. So please keep following us. Check us out on YouTube, on Instagram at Dino Brothers, on Twitter at Dino Bros _TO. And thanks again for tuning in.
Dino Bros out. Bros out.